Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Lexington. My name is Steve Barth. I'm the Lexington Town Manager, and we are honored to host Governor Healey, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, Secretary Augustus, and our state delegation today. Thank you for being here to help shine a spotlight on the important role that accessory dwelling units play and will play in addressing our housing needs in Massachusetts. Lexington has long believed that a healthy, vibrant community depends on a diverse and attainable housing supply. That's why we were among the first adopters of the MBTA Communities Act, and why our planning board, and I see some of the members in the back, have already approved more than 1,000 units under that framework. It's also why Lexington has maintained a long-standing ADU bylaw, allowing accessory dwelling units up to 1,000 feet by special permit, because we recognize how these small homes can support seniors, young families, and caregivers, among others. The administration's proposal to expand and simplify ADU development statewide will make it easier and more affordable for residents to create these vital housing units. This is exactly the kind of flexible, practical tool that a community needs as we work together to address the statewide housing shortage. We're grateful for the governor's leadership on this important issue and her partnership, and we're proud to host today's event. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce Governor Healey, Governor of the Commonwealth, and to hear what she has to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Well, good morning, and thank you, Steve. It's wonderful to be here this morning in Lexington. I want to thank Mark and Linda Adler for giving us the opportunity to tour what we think is something really special, something that we know people are taking advantage of here in Massachusetts, and we want more people to take advantage of because driving down housing costs and building more housing has been a top priority for our administration. And one way we get there quickly in a way that's great for residents, their families, and communities is by building out more of these accessory dwelling units. So we're here today to show the public what an ADU looks like and to show what's possible. I want to thank Steve Bartha and the town of Lexington for all the work that you've done, and to planning members, town meeting members, and others. Thank you for your commitment to housing and showing that there's a way to build housing that is good for families, good for residents, and good for the community. So I appreciate all the work that's been done here in the great town of Lexington. Thank you to Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll, to Secretary of Housing and Livable Communities at Augustus, who has been all about housing for the last 3 years and doing a tremendous job. We thank Mass Housing and Mass Housing Partnership and all of the various entities and agencies that are joining us in this effort to get more homes out there and on the market available at a reasonable price to people across Massachusetts. And of course, we're in Lexington, and we thank our fantastic representatives from the legislature, Representative Michelle Socolo, and also Representative Ken Gordon. As I mentioned, a big thank you to Mark and Linda. We just invaded their home this morning, and it's really terrific. Your daughter, Rachel, lives here in the big house, and Rachel lives with your grandkids, Nate and Maya, who are in school right now. Rachel's actually in school right now because she's a school teacher here in Lexington. And we know whether you're a school teacher or any number of fields, it's hard to find reasonably priced housing right now in Massachusetts and frankly around this country. And we're here today because the Adlers did something really, really cool. We just came from touring their ADU. And if you look behind me, you can see what a beautiful structure this is. We went inside. It's a beautiful space. It's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, kitchen, living room. It's got everything that you would want, and lots of light coming in, spacious. It just is absolutely beautiful. So Rachel and the kids live here in the main house. Mark and Linda live right here. I think it's been, we'll hear more from them about how special it's been for them to have this arrangement. It's a great setup. It's innovative. It's also traditional, creating a 3-generation home where everyone has the space that they need. And as I mentioned, it helps our state address the housing shortage and bring housing prices down. Now, for a long time in our state, we weren't building enough homes, and it was too hard to build. There's a patchwork of regulations across our great 351 cities and towns. And we made a difference. We said we were going to change that. So we passed the Affordable Homes Act a little over a year ago, which makes these ADUs allowable by right. Now people across Massachusetts can build these ADUs. In the first 6 months of changing the law, we've seen over 1,000 applications for ADUs. They're hot. People want them. They're easy to build. They don't take much time, and they're a great option. So here's what's important for people in Massachusetts. Today, we're announcing a design challenge. Some people, you know, they don't know. I was talking to a guy on the way over. He's like, I wanted to come today because I wanted to see what one of these things looked like to see if it would work for me and my wife. And we know that people need to know what these things actually are. So we're announcing an ADU design challenge, inviting designers to come forward with submissions of, you know, the coolest, best of designs for ADUs. We're, of course, going to award some prizes, but more importantly, we're going to make available online for free to everybody in Massachusetts the different plans for ADUs that are presented, so that easy to just download right off the shelf. You can have yourself a plan for an ADU to build out on your home. The second thing is that we're going to help you get your ADU project done. We've got a $10 million capital plan through the Mass Housing Partnership, which will offer assistance to homeowners in helping them navigate through this ADU process. And the last thing is actual financing. Mass Housing is going to introduce affordable ADU construction financing for moderate income, lower income homeowners beginning in 2026, so beginning this year, because we want this to be an option for more people. Look, ADUs work for families, they work for communities, they work for our state. They create new options for people, they help people stay in Massachusetts, and they bring costs down for everyone involved. So really grateful to see everybody here today, excited about these programs. And now I'd like to invite up Secretary Ed Augustus.
Thank you, Governor Healey, for your leadership in helping make ADUs like this one here in Lexington possible for families across Massachusetts. I also want to thank some of our incredible partners in this next phase of the administration's ADU initiatives. Clark Ziegler, who's behind me from Mass Housing Partnership, Munsa Alash, who's with Mass Housing, as well as all the steering committee, and there's too many to mention, a big group of folks who came together to help put together the ADU Design Challenge. And especially I want to thank Mark and Linda for allowing us to visit your home and showcase what's possible with ADUs. When this ADU was craned into place earlier this year, it marked the beginning of a new chapter for the Adlers. Not only creating a beautiful living space for themselves, but as was mentioned, creating a home for their daughter Rachel and their grandkids Nate and Maya, just a few feet away from their door. There are thousands of families across Massachusetts in similar situations where an ADU could make all the difference. Empty nesters looking to downsize while providing home for the next generation. A disabled adult child who needs independence with support next door. An aging parent with a family just a few feet away. Or a family in need of income to help keep up with the mortgage and the cost of living. When the governor signed the Affordable Homes Act into law in August 2024, she gave Massachusetts residents the right to build an ADU on their property. That was step one. With today's announcement, we're making much more progress. We're making that process much easier. Together with these three efforts that the governor just announced, the Design Challenge, the Incentive Program, and the new construction loan, will help lots of homeowners add exactly the kind of smaller, more affordable homes Massachusetts needs. I want to share a little bit more about the Design Challenge because I think this challenge will result in real innovation in ADU design and help encourage a wider adoption. The ADU Design Challenge opens next Monday, and we will invite designers, architects, and other design professionals to submit replicable, high-quality ADU prototypes that can be adapted by homeowners and local builders. I want to thank the sponsors of the Design Challenge who have committed $60,000 to award monetary prizes to challenge winners. And those folks are the Eastern Bank Foundation, Boston Foundation, American Institute of Architects of Massachusetts, and the Mass Housing Partnership. The first place award winner will receive $20,000, second place $15,000, third place $10,000, and exceptional submissions will receive $3,000 each for the following categories: compact ADUs, standard ADUs, sustainable ADUs, accessible ADUs, and innovative construction.
There's an ADU for everyone.
Exactly. And we also have AIA Massachusetts People's Choice Award. So we're going to allow the people of Massachusetts to see online all of the submissions, and the people of Massachusetts decide which one they think is the coolest design. Designers will have until the end of February to send in their submissions through our website, which is mass.gov/ADU challenge. Submissions will be judged by a panel of design professionals, and winners will be announced in late April next year. We hope these designs will make it easier for homeowners to imagine how an ADU might work for them and their families. To complement the Design Challenge, Mass Housing Partnership ADU Incentive Program will help homeowners take the first step toward actually building and permitting to build ADUs. The Affordable Homes Act made ADUs easier to build, but a lot of homeowners still don't know, what's the first step? What do I do to get this process started? Will it fit on my land? How does the water and sewer work? Where do I go first? Do I go to town hall, or do I go to a construction professional? This program is designed to demystify that process, make it easy, make it accessible for everyone to evaluate whether this option makes sense for them and their families. And then finally, Mass Housing, with the construction loan program, will provide critical access to capital. We know it costs money to build these ADUs. So Mass Housing, with significant support from the governor's capital budget, are going to be working with lenders across Massachusetts to allow for access to capital that will be more advantageous than the typical home equity loan, which most people default and think about as the prime option. This is going to allow money to be available to homeowners at a reduced rate who are qualified for this program. Again, trying to take out some of the barriers to constructing these units. The loan program is for homeowners who have done their research. Again, maybe they've been excited by the Design Challenge, gone through the process with MHP, decided it makes sense for them, and are now ready to look for the dollars necessary to make it happen. Perhaps they've completed that feasibility study, they've picked a design available through the Design Challenge, and now they're ready to start construction. Loans up to $250,000 will be available for detached ADUs and up to $150,000 for attached ADUs. Mass Housing will announce more details in January and open applications in March, just in time for the beginning of construction season. None of these initiatives are silver bullets, but taken together, they will spur more ADU construction. Now, ADUs are just one of the tools that the administration's toolbox to create more homes and bring down the costs for everyone. Our administration is investing heavily in new housing production. We're cutting permitting times, getting housing built faster, and we're working with local leaders to implement once-in-a-generation zoning reform to allow for more housing opportunities throughout Massachusetts. We're proud to be in Lexington, as the town manager said, one of the early adopters, the early adopter of MBTA communities law, and one of the communities that's gone above and beyond in many ways to help spur housing production. Local leaders here know when you plan for more housing and you're investing in residents, expanding your tax base, and building a stronger, more affordable Massachusetts for the long term. We're excited to see the designs. We're hopeful that these new tools will spur even more construction of ADUs throughout Massachusetts. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce the folks whose lawn that we're on, who can tell us more from a personal perspective, the Adlers.
Well, thank you, Governor Healey, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, town officials, legislatures. We really appreciate all you're doing for creating opportunities like the ADU that we live in. And I'd also like to thank Chris Lee from Backyard ADUs. It's been a pleasure working with that company, putting this together. Completely customized solution, let us design our house with our needs in mind, and we've really enjoyed living in this house, and we love showing it off too. So, you know, when we started this, we were a little worried about what the neighbors would think with all this construction in this Lexington neighborhood. But our neighbors have been very supportive, and I think over time there are more and more three-generation households in our neighborhood. And I think they're all a little jealous. We sort of feel like trailblazers, and I think all these new initiatives will help even more people be able to follow the path that we took. So we really enjoy both being able to provide a nice household for our daughter and our grandkids. We're right next door, so we can help get the kids to school in the morning. And then we sort of take refuge in our nice, quiet space for the rest of the day. I think Linda wants to add a little bit more about some of the...
Yes, we were a little bit worried about the fact that our new space would seem cramped after being in a larger home, but it's not. It's really been perfect. We don't get in each other's way, and we still have space for ourselves. It's 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and a full-size kitchen, full-size appliances, and a nice, airy, light living room. And again, Backyard ADUs was fantastic. They let us customize everything, and were very patient while we redesigned the kitchen about 10 times. This has been just a wonderful solution for us. As Mark said, we're close to our family, and we all have more privacy. It wasn't disruptive at all. There were no breaking walls in the existing home or that kind of construction chaos. The pieces were lowered by crane onto the prepared site, and it was about 4 months from start to finish, which is very fast. Other homes in the neighborhood took over a year to build. So it's been a real plus for us, and we hope that other people will be encouraged that it could be the solution for them too.
Thank you. You're very welcome. It's our pleasure. Yeah, it's great. Mark and Linda, thank you so much. We're excited about today. More homes, less expensive homes. It's going to be great for Massachusetts. We're happy to take any questions. Start with on topic. Okay, that's great. Everything speaks for itself. So be sure to check out the website, and really, designers out there, give us your best. This is fun. This is the HGTV moment for the state. Super cool. And then to residents, in a couple months' time, be sure to go online and download available plans and see what you might want to do for yourselves and your family. Any other questions?
Just with this OCA report today on the Worcester case and other tragic incidents, with the history of this seems to be, is there a problem with DCF that you think needs to be addressed? Should a commission be established to try to figure out why these children keep going through the process?
The death of any child breaks my heart. The death of this little girl, Azalea, is a real tragedy. I really appreciate the work of the Office of Child Advocate for coming forward, taking a look at this, coming forward with recommendations. I know that the agency, DCF, will review all of that and will take any and all steps to make sure that the right systems are in place to prevent future tragedies like this.
What about an outside commission? Does it support that at all? I know it's been in committee, but it doesn't go much further.
I think one of the good things about our state, and we've had an Office of Child Advocate for a number of years now through time, and that has been their charge, to engage in an independent look and review at what's happening with kids in the state whenever something happens. And again, I really appreciate the OCA's report recommendations, and I know that the agency will take them into consideration immediately and work to take steps, anything and everything that needs to be done to protect our kids.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay. I'll come see you. Okay, great. Thanks, everybody.